Hey, what's cracking? How are you doing today? I hope this video finds you doing well. If you're watching this video on the day I put it up, today is July 4th, 2023. So happy 4th of July. Uh, I know you weren't expecting me to put a video up today. I told you guys I'd see you after my surgery was over, and I go up for surgery in 2 days. And I'm pretty scared about it. I'm pretty nervous. Uh, it's supposed to be excruciating at times. But it's something that has to be done. So when something has to be done, you don't sit around and worry about it. Just get it done and do it and deal with it as we go. So I'm going to do that, but I wanted to drop you guys a video before I go because it may be a week or two before I can put one up. I want to tell you about some things going on with the channel, and then I'm going to get into my story today. I have 843 subscribers. I want you to know if you're watching this video and if you're seeing commercials, and just know that I'm not getting nothing for that until I have 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you're watching the video, please hit subscribe and help me get to 1,000 so I can get paid for the commercials everyone's watching. They're watching them anyway. I may as well get a little something out of it. They're using my video to do the commercials. I do have supers and memberships going now. If you do want to hit join on there, you don't get much for doing it. Everyone gets the same thing here. I may make another channel at some time, but these videos are about trying to help someone. And if the first time you've ever watched one of my videos, my name is Ricky Dye, and I went to prison when I was 15 years old. I didn't get out for over 20 years, almost 35 years old. And I'm in the process of writing a book. I just got it started, but I also make YouTube videos to try to reach out and touch some kids. In this day and age, a lot of kids watch social media, but they don't read books. So these videos are not edited. These videos are as real as it gets. I sit down, I talk to you about the things that happened to me. I ask you to keep in mind in a lot of the stories to not judge me too harshly because the stories are from the point of view of the kid at that age. So if you wonder what happens to 15-year-old kids that go to prison, well, jump right in at the beginning and listen to my story and you'll know. Because I start at the beginning telling my story, what happened, the crime, going to juvenile and being certified as an adult and sent to prison. And that's what these stories are about. And I hope that maybe I can touch base with someone thinking about doing something wrong and they'll listen to some of these stories and change their mind. I talk a lot about perception on the channel and the way you look at life. So if you're interested in some of those things, if you'll hit the subscribe button, you'll really help me out. And for everyone who's been on this journey from the very first, who subscribed to my channel, who watches all the videos, who comments on them, thank each and every one of you. I do have the supers. I don't think the stickers and all that, the highlighted comments really matter so much until I do the live stream. I'll do one of those as soon as I get to 1,000 subscribers. The guests will be my wife and my mother and their point of view on the whole situation. Today I wanted to talk about what happens to child molesters when they get sent to prison. It's something that everybody asks. It's near and dear to everybody's heart. Not very many people feel sorry for child molesters. I want to tell you some things about the way I felt, about the way it went whenever I was involved in the whole dealing with child molesters. And also let me tell you this, that the stories I'm about to tell you, what happened with me at Granite, the way that we dealt with people when they came to prison, is not the same that they do at every prison. Every prison is different. So if a child molester goes to Joseph Hart Correctional Center, they're protected there. They are protected. And if you touch one of them, you get locked up and shipped immediately. And they make sure the only people they put on the yard at Joseph Hart Medium Correctional Center with those guys are people that have a lot to lose, that are about to go home, or they really need to make parole. People that cannot afford to go whoop these child molesters because they're trying to get out, to go back home, and they can't afford to go whoop them, go give them lumps on their head. But there's other places like Granite was when I was there, what I'm about to tell you about. And other places are like this. Now, Granite used to be Gladiator School, Oklahoma State Reformatory. Now it's more set up for older convicts, older people who are doing a lot of time trying to stay out of trouble. And now Gladiator School, I believe, is like Wagon Hut, Lawton, some of those places, Sarah. Okay, but when I was at Granite, it was Gladiator School. And the way it goes is there had been several riots at Granite, and racial riots, and some people getting killed, some blacks, some whites getting stabbed, some Indians getting stabbed, people going to the hospital, people getting killed. And so what happens is they set the day rooms up where they're racially balanced. So they know that at any time a racial war can start out. You're sitting out there in the day room, maybe playing poker or dominoes, and you know at any given time, even though you get along with the black guy you may be playing dominoes with, at any given time it can be white against blacks, and you'll have to fight him maybe. Or at the most, you might make a deal with that guy if you're friends that you won't get him and he won't get you, but you have to sleep with a knife at times. And so what the inmates do is to make sure they have a fair chance. Say that there's 8 white cells and 8 black cells, and there's 2 Mexican cells and 2 Indian cells. Well, the Indians and the whites and the Mexicans, whenever it comes down to it, all will ride together against the blacks because there's so many of the blacks, and it's just the truth. I'm not racial in any way, racist in any way. I have a lot of black friends, so that's not how it is with me, but that's just how it is in prison. So when a white guy comes in the tank, as soon as you get to Granite, they give you your paperwork to carry in there with you, because they know as soon as you get down there, the white boys are going to come jam you up, find out what you're in there for. Each race handles their own. If he's black, the blacks take care of it. If he's Indian, the Indians take care of it. If you're Mexican, the Mexicans take care of it. And if you're white, the whites take care of it. And on most yards, the UABs, the Aryan Brotherhood, will run the yard for the whites, almost always. And there'll be one white guy who's the captain, and him and a little group, I'm not going to get into their business, but there's usually one guy that's got seniority that pretty much calls the shots on that yard. But at Granite, there not only was a guy that called the shots on the yard, but there was also a guy that called the shots on each unit, because the units were locked down so tight that you can't get word back and forth. It's a guy on another unit may as well be in another prison, because you got concrete around the bottom of the fence, then you got razor wire around the top. It's like its own little prison. Each day room is, each unit is. You got A unit, B unit, C unit, and D unit, and each unit has 4 day rooms. Okay, and there's a guard shack in the middle that can look into all 4 of those day rooms. Each day room has a top run and a bottom run, and there's 4 units. There's a guy that runs each unit, and then because it's so locked down, when you get out to eat, they either bring your food to you because of all the riots and stabbings, or they will get you out of your day room. Just your day room is allowed to eat. You can't go with any other day room. There's 4 day rooms on your unit, but only one can go eat at a time. When they rack your unit out for chow, you have to go up and you have to go through a metal detector. They will run a wand over you, front and back, that they carry. Because of everything that had been going on, they're also got shields, electric shields, and they have beanbag guns that look like shotguns, but they're beanbag guns, and they will walk your unit to chow. You get pat searched before you go. When you get there, you go through another metal detector, and when you come out of the chow hall, you are pat searched and wanded again. So they're making sure you have no weapons when you go to chow. Okay? So what happens is, to make sure that everything stays equal, whenever you come in the day room, if you're white, we're going to come straight to your room. Now, usually, it'll be whatever Aryan, whatever UAB in the Aryan Brotherhood, whatever white guy has got the most seniority in that day room, because the day rooms are taken separately. Usually, it's a guy running the unit, but now it's a guy, whoever's in the seniority from the Aryan Brotherhood in each day room has seniority, is running that unit. So it's broke all the way down. So I'm living in D3. Now, but the thing is, there's no Aryans in my day room. So because I had been locked up 17, 18 years at the time, and one of my best friends was an Aryan guy that was running D2, and pretty much he was the shot caller on the yard, telling me, Ricky, you're over there, you're running D3. We ain't got no brothers over there. You've been locked up the longest. You're a convict. You run D3. So what that meant was, when the white guys come in, I have to take a couple guys with me. I picked 2 white guys that's been in here a while. We're all pretty good friends because our life's in each other's hand. There's not that many in each day room, maybe 10 of us. We all stick together and know each other real well. I'll pick 2 of them out. One that's about the same size as the guy that just got here, and another guy for muscle. And we'll go up in that cell 3 deep and say, let us see your papers. Okay? If you show us your papers and you're not in for a sex crime, you still have to fight, because we have to know you'll fight. Because if something pops up between the blacks and the whites and you won't fight, then that gives us less numbers because they're all going to fight. And what usually happens is when stuff like that happens, you'll see all the blacks over here and all the whites over here all grouped up. And the big packs don't usually go at each other. It's the ones that don't want involved, who try to stay in their cell and not get involved. Then the blacks will smash them by themselves. I've seen them get thrown over the rails, stabbed up, everything you can think of. But usually when you have a big group here and a big group here, they will kind of stay on their own side usually. So what happens is I go down in the cell. If you come in there and you're white and you don't have a sex crime, I'll bring you down in there. If you don't have a sex crime, I got to know you'll fight. So I'm going to match you up with somebody your size, and y'all have to bang up in that cell. And I'll stand in the cell with you, and I decide when it's over. Okay? Now, a lot of guys got a real cold heart, and they won't stop until they see a lot of blood. They want to know you really will fight to the bitter end. But I wasn't cold-hearted, so as soon as I seen someone was getting the best of the other guy, I stop them because I want you to be on my team. I don't need you hurt. So as long as you'll fight, and you've just proved you'll fight, so you have to fight as soon as you get there to prove you will. But if you fight, we'll pull you up and keep you with us as long as you haven't ever told on anyone or done anything foul. Okay? But if you don't have your paperwork, that means you've thrown it away because you've got something you're ashamed of. Or if you have a sex crime, or if you don't have your paper. Either way, then you don't get a one-on-one. You get beat out by all three of us. And I've seen a lot of people stomped out. I've helped stomp a lot of people out. And I've always had a hard time dealing with that, not because of child molester, because I'm going to tell you the way I always ended up dealing with it in the end is I felt like they had a better chance than that kid did. That's how I always end up justifying it to myself. But I'm going to tell you that it's always been my opinion, because of the crime I committed, I was in for murder. I helped take a man's life. And to me, there's nothing worse than that, because, you know, a kid can be molested and with help and counseling grow up one day and be the President of the United States. A woman with love and her family and the love of her husband and her kids maybe can get by that someday. But when you kill somebody, that's it. It is final. There is no fixing it. There's no making up for it. And so the Bible tells us, judge not that we not be judged. And I'm not trying to preach and get in anybody's, because I know there's people have all different religions, and I respect that. I would never force what I believe on anyone, because none of us really know. We only know what we believe. And anything that brings someone peace, I would never be the one to try to take it away. So, but I will say that it's set heavy on my heart to go in and judge other people and beat them up physically and hurt them until they were dragged out of the cell because of their crime, when I've had a murder case myself. But I want you to know that if you've ever had a kid that's gotten hurt or anything, when they go to prison, they do not have it easy. Even if they go somewhere easy like Joe Hart, it's constant worry for them. They live in fear every day. And they don't get to stay at places like Joe Hart. Usually they end up getting moved around, and eventually they end up somewhere like the place I just told you. A lot of times the guards will tell us what they're in there for. Got one over there in there for child molesting. Man, y'all take care of it. Just don't put him in the hospital. And we take care of it. You can believe that. Because child molester is the one thing you don't want to be in prison. You mess with a kid, you get no passes. Even rats treat it better than a child molester. So rest easy knowing that if somebody's messed with your kid, they're getting theirs, man. They're not having it easy. Not only what they got to go through when they get out here, but we're putting it to them in there. You can believe that. They don't walk free, not ever. So that's what happens to child molesters when you go to prison. So, hey, man, I was in prison for over 20 years. And I'm out here trying to make something of myself. I'm trying to do it legal. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, you can really help me to take care of myself. So if you do that, I really appreciate it. Surgery coming up in 2 days. Thank all you guys for your thoughts and your prayers. Be praying for all of you. If you haven't friended me on Facebook, do that. Join me on the Discord. And I'm working on getting the store up and running. They just now offered it to me. I've got to set it up. You may think that this is easy. Run a YouTube channel, get on there, talk, put up a video. It's real easy, but it's not that easy. And it's certainly not that easy for me. After doing that long time in prison, I was completely lost out here. I couldn't even figure out how to turn a cell phone on the first 3 days I had it. So I'm working my way through it all. I have to build a shop on one app, then link it to YouTube. Then I've got to connect that to another shop, figure out how much it's going to cost for all the stuff, because I'm not going to buy cheap stuff. If you buy something from my shop, it'll be a quality item. You have my word on it. And if for any reason you don't like it, I'll give your money back. But I'm pretty sure you'll be happy with it. So I hope to see you guys in the next one. I'll try to make another one and put it out during the time I'm in surgery and let you know what's going on with the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. Peace out. May God bless, keep, protect you and yours.